good evening, and welcome to the Mover Experience. I hope that all of you are well and have had an amazing holiday weekend. As you're logging on, let me know what city, what state, and or what country you might be joining in from. I see that we've got Tennessee on the line. I see we've got some people that are here from Michigan. And what we need you all to do is to please tag and share. Here's what the focus is going to be tonight. And I know that you guys probably saw that title and said, what is she talking about? VAJAJA's matter, right? We're going to talk about women, all things women. So if you know a woman, right, 18 and over, you know what, 16 maybe ish, right, and you already know that our health matters, then I want you. Hello, Jackie Stockdale is joining us from the UK right before bedtime. So tag and share, tag and share. And like I said, as you are logging on, just let us know what city, what state, and or what country you're logging in from. So I am Nina Rochelle Moore with the Moore Experience, and we've now been doing our podcast now going into our third month. And we started talking about depression. We talked about depression as a young man. In males, we talked about it in women. We talked about clinical depression. We've had several people that we've interviewed about that. We talked about divorce, right? The D word being divorce. We've talked about finance. We talked about depression that comes through recession, through what's going on around the world with the financial state of our world right now. And tonight we're going to take a hard, sharp left turn away from all of that. And we're going to talk about women and women's health. And I have a very special guest with me this evening, who happens to be a medical doctor. But this young lady and I spent some time together while I was up in Detroit. And I felt that it was very pertinent, very necessary to have her come on because she shared some things with us that afternoon at our day party that was absolutely phenomenal information for me. And as a young woman, as a woman who just turned 50, and I'm sure she's going to have some great things to say to us about that as well, about that 50-ish mark. And I'm going to share something with you all tonight that I have not shared with very many people, and I'll save that for later. But JJ's matter, all things women tonight, right? Our health matters. And I am going to bring up to the line my guest for this evening, Dr. Grace Patterson. Come on to the line. Hey! Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to be with us this evening. Can you just let everybody know out here in Facebook land, and we're actually streaming on YouTube live as well. There's somebody that might actually be watching live, but there's somebody that might come back and watch the replay. So could you let everybody know who you are, where you're from, and what do you do?
Okay, well, I am Dr. Grace Patterson, affectionately known as Dr. Grace. I am a native Detroiter. And listening to your story, Nina, we have a lot of things in common. I was a teen mom as well. I had my daughter at the age of 15, and my daughter now is our business manager of our practice. So, and I do have a granddaughter. And
oh, we lost Dr. Grace. She'll be back.
oh,
So,
I put on do not disturb, so I don't know why.
Okay, there you go. All right. Okay, there you go.
But anyway. And so I have been a doctor for over 25 plus years now. I'm a family practice doctor. I do a lot of holistic and internal, what we call integrative medicine in my practice, regardless of finances or whatever. I treat all my patients the same. And so I was introduced to TAVA maybe, I say 2 years, going on 3 years now, and I incorporated it in my practice. Because we were hit with, you know what, I hate even saying the word now, because I do believe in the power of the words. The more you talk about it, the more you give it life. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother teaching for a whole nother time. So that's what I do. I love what I do. I love helping people. And so, and I met you and we connected, and here I am now on your
Yes.
platform.
So, Dr. Grace, I remember hearing your testimony. I'm trying to think what state we were in. It was probably in Houston, where I first heard just the Dallas. Uh,
I
it
think we
was
were in Dallas.
We were in Dallas when I
Yeah.
first heard your story,
Hmm.
and oftentimes, and I know that we're going to talk about women and our health, and I know when I put the title up, people were like, "VAJAJA's," right? I think it's cute, right? But
Hmm.
um, I think that's a part of our health. Well, not just I think our mental and our emotional health we often overlook. And
Hmm.
when I heard you say that you were also a teen mom, oftentimes people think that because they have had some hardship in life, as a teen mom, I know that I think back at during those years that I never thought that you don't see 50 at 15. You just don't, right? You don't see it and you think that it's the end of the world. And not that I would wish that anyone would have to go through what you and I may have gone through then, but I certainly do not begrudge my life. My son is a gift to me in the world. He has his master's degree, but he's so it's crazy. He has a master's, but he's an entrepreneur, right? It's just in his blood, right?
Hmm.
Um, but to think back at that time, to know that you're a doctor now, but to know that you had what some would call a rough start in life, as a mom at 15, did you see yourself as a doctor? Like what at 15?
Okay, so I wanted to be a doctor, I think, at 13. So there was this group called Medical Explorers. It was kind of like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. It was a co-ed group where they introduced, about medical stuff. And they took me down to Detroit Medical Center. I'll never forget it. And I met my very first Black doctor. He was a anesthesiologist. And he said, well, I put people to sleep for $250,000 a year. I said, oh, I can do that. And so, here we are years later. So even though, I did have my daughter, I didn't lose my focus. I mean, I didn't know uh, the things that I know now I didn't even know what focus was at 15. Let's just put it like that. But I didn't have, I heard people say like, okay, now you're pregnant, you have your baby, now what, what are you going to do? I didn't have that negative banter that your life is over. You can't achieve your goals. You can't achieve your dreams. I didn't have any of that in my ear. And, so that means a lot. And I did have major support from my family. Thank God for my mom and my sister who helped me through med school, watching her and all that other kind of stuff. So we came together as a family to make sure that I succeed. And the statistics are that when you become a teen mom, only 1.2% becomes some type of professional. And so instead of making my daughter an excuse, I made her my reason. And so we grew up together. She was going to classes with me together. We often joke about the times now how when I would be at the library or in one of the rooms in the medical school where she's under the table with her little TV and her blanket and her pillow, and I'm studying for exams. And so she saw what I went through, and she was like, "I'm good. I don't want to be a doctor." And
Right.
so, yeah, so to say what we may looking back on it, like you said, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but God knows what He put in us before we even got here. And He knew what decisions that we were going to make before we even made them. And so He had a purpose. And so I just stayed the course.
So powerful, your story. And I didn't know that that was the number in the statistics. So I thank you for that.
Hmm.
I the people often ask me, Nina, how in the world did you stay so focused? I also didn't know what focus was. I just knew that I watched people in my peer groups, not in my high school, because I went to crazy thing is, Dr. Grace, I felt very shameful, very ashamed
Hmm.
of being pregnant because I went to the Philadelphia High School for Girls.
Oh,
And
okay.
okay, so right. So because I went to the Philadelphia High School for Girls, that particular school was not a school where you saw teen pregnancy. It just wasn't. 3 of us out of 400 plus graduates in my senior class, 3 of us, and only 2 of us, 2 African American young ladies, kept our babies. The other young lady that I knew of, she actually put her baby up for adoption. And I'm not judging her. I'm
Right.
just saying there were only 3 of us.
Mhm.
And so to be in a school like the Philadelphia High School for Girls, walking around the hallways pregnant wasn't a badge of honor. You know, in some neighborhoods, it's like a badge of honor. Like, you know, and then who can have the biggest baby shower and who can have I didn't have them kind of parents. They were like, oh no, we don't glorify this. You know, we're gonna bless the baby, but we don't glorify that. So I grew up from a very different, it wasn't like some party because I was having a baby. And my mother taught me and believed, my parents, if you're not going anywhere, you can't take that baby. That's the way we grew up. So the reason why I stayed the course or stayed focused was because my whole goal was that I just wanted my son to be proud of me. I just wanted him to be proud of me. And so here we are, right? So that was enough about our background. I think this was good though. I don't know who needed to hear that. I feel that the Holy Spirit is always going to have his way. And even though we have an agenda, I always follow his agenda. So somebody needed to hear that. I don't know who needed to hear that, but somebody needed to hear that. So I'm very honored to have you here, Dr. Grace. I never tell this story, but I'm going to say it so that you could probably talk about it while we talk about you really broke down these products in a way that really made me want to have you like share it with everybody, because I know that not everybody's going to go back and watch the live from the day party we had. But I am one of those women who went through menopause and I didn't even know it.
Okay.
Right. So I went through it early. My mother, my birth mother, is Japanese. She told me that she went through the change early. And I was thinking and I mean, literally my mother, gray, like not just gray, but white. Her hair went white very early. Well, my entire front, the whole perimeter of my hair, very early on. Like I remember in my 20s being white all around the edges. And then a lot of my hair now is not gray, it's white. A lot of it is white. And so I remember sweating profusely as a young, like in like late 20s, early 30s, sweating, like just really, really, I thought it was because I was fat. Honestly, I was like, well, it's just because I'm fat. And maybe that's why I'm sweating so badly. And then I had Paige at 41-ish, 42. I had Paige at 42. And the next thing I know, boom, no cycles, no nothing. Like they just stopped. And I remember going to the doctor and he said to me, I had a male gynecologist in Ardmore. He said, don't tell none of your friends that you went through the change and didn't know it because they're going to hate you. Like your girlfriends, I don't have flashes. I don't have none of that. Like literally just now for years and years and years, I have used liquid vitamins, probiotics. But I will say that I suffered with occasional yeast infections here and there. And I was like, oh, it's probably my soap. Oh, it's probably my, oh, it may be my detergent. Oh, you know what? You try to start narrowing it down. But I will tell you since the flare, for the last almost 2 years now, I've not had a yeast infection. So you said some things about everybody's looking for collagen and everybody. So, you let's talk about this. Let's start here. Let's talk with our liquid gold. Let's talk about this liquid gold.
Yes.
You lit up just now when I picked this up. Can you tell everybody why you lit up when I picked this up?
Because I do IV infusion therapy, I do liquid vitamins through the IV. And so when that thing happened 2 years ago, we were not doing face-to-face visits. And I was in top and I was like, oh my God, I can use this for my patients. So that stood in lieu of the actual IV infusion therapy for the vitamins because IV infusion is 100% absorbency because it bypasses the gut and goes straight into the stream. And this liquid vitamin is 85%. So that was the closest I could get to IV. So that is why my face lit up because, my patients was calling me, I know we in a pandemic, that word, but what we gonna do about our infusions? So I was like, well, you need to get you some of this liquid Valid 30 that I have and to tide you over until we do. So even now, even that is what I use as what we call a to hold them over, or in addition to a supplement to what they do and with their IV infusion therapy. So that's why my face, that's why
Well,
my
it
face
did.
lit up.
When I picked this up, you were like, yes, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So what you IV infusions? What was the purpose? Like, can you share why that's important, or why are women getting, not just women, but I know a lot of I know a lot of women that are getting IV infusions as
Mhm.
well. Can you share why that's important? Why is this liquid so important?
Well, the reason why it's important for a couple of reasons. I wanna roll this train back a little bit before I
Go ahead.
dove into that. But I want to say I did the same thing that you did. I went through the change early too, and I stopped at 42. Yes, and my hair underneath here is totally white. My mother is white. Her whole hair is not gray, it's white. And
Right.
so I had shaved it a couple of times. This last time I was like, okay, I'm gonna shave it, but it's coming in all white. So, but
Wow.
anyway, but God is good. I think I'm gonna do some. I have a young face, and I was told by some men that you would look cute with white hair. So I think next time you
You
see
would.
me, yeah. So, but
Go
anyway,
on and do
the
it. Go on
reason
and do it.
so the reason why this liquid vitamin is so important, because the system that we have with Taba is a system. So the tea cleanse you out so you can absorb the nutrients from your food, and so you can absorb the liquid vitamin and the flare. So anyone that I start on these products, I say take your tea first, and after you eliminate, take your liquid vitamin and take your flare, so your gut is ready to absorb all the nutrients that are in there. So I don't recommend anybody to just piecemeal. Oh, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to do that. They have strategically sat down.
Don't worry, you guys. She's coming back. That just means that a call came through to her phone. So, what Dr. Grace was saying is that our product line, ladies, you all need to hear this, that our product line synergistically
Sorry about
works
that.
together. That's okay. We're just waiting for your screen to come back on. Our product line, as you ladies heard,
Okay, well,
we can't see you, Dr. Grace,
okay,
but
hold on
they,
just 1 second, sweetie. I'm trying to
okay,
see why I won't trying to put this on where we won't be disturbed again. Hold on just 1 second.
okay.
Okay, we're going to put this on focus and do not disturb. It's on. I have no idea why it keeps on
If
ringing
someone's
when
in your
somebody calls.
favorites, if someone's in your favorites, they can still get through.
Oh, well, it look like the numbers are popping up. They're not my favorites. I don't know
Oh,
what it.
okay.
Well, we at the mercy of technology.
That's
So
okay.
we
Well, you back. So
okay.
you
So let's get back to what I was saying. It works together. And so after you meet your weight wellness goals or whatever, and then you maintain, and then you detox when you feel that your body needs it. And then I often hear is like, when should I detox? I always believe this change of the seasons is a good time going. Like now we went from spring to summer. And then when
okay.
summer goes into fall, those are good times. Or just listen to your body. If you just feel tired, you feel sluggish, you feel bloated, you're having breakouts, you having what we call halitosis, which is bad breath even after you've done your oral hygiene. All of those are a sign that you need to detox, because your mouth is connected all the way through to your butt. And so if you're not cleaning out, you can actually smell what's in there through your breath. And so those are good times to say, hey, I need to get in touch with Miss Mora so I can get some of that tea, so I can clean out so my breath won't be offending people. Yes. So
Yeah.
yes.
Now we're
So
not talking to the ladies. We want you guys to know this is for you too. But
yes.
we are ladies, and so we're
Yeah.
kind of talking about our issues right now. Okay.
Mhm.
I remember Dr. Grace when I was 300 pounds or close to it.
Mhm.
I went and talked to a nutritionist because I just wanted to cut my whole stomach off. Like literally, like if I could have just, because I couldn't fathom that I could really lose the weight.
Mhm.
And while going through a divorce, I started walking on the track just 3 days a week, for 30 minutes, because that's all I had. 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I went Monday, Tuesday, Friday, something like that. Monday, I did 3 days a week, 30 minutes, but I did cut my carbs. Um,
Mhm.
and the weight just started like falling off. But when I talked to a nutritionist and she was telling me that vitamins were so important at the time, she had me on all kind of, like I had a box full of vitamins, because liquid vitamin then wasn't as popular as it is right now. And if they were, they tasted awful, right? Our valet, which actually we don't even really understand. Not only does the word valet mean gold, but the word vitamin and liquid energy 30-day supply. I
Mhm.
don't think people really understand what we have.
Mhm.
But this nutritionist, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, said to me that oftentimes people are not losing the kind of weight that they want to lose. She said because we're not getting the nutrients that we need from the foods that we're eating. And she said to me that our body will store fat, because when it does get food, it's thinking it doesn't know really when it's going to get its next set of nutrition. So it will begin to store the fat. Now, I could be, am I telling a tale, or is this correct? And that is one of the reasons why. Another, for me, the superfoods in our liquid vitamin is so important to me, because I know that I don't always eat properly. I know we don't. So is that a factor with our liquid vitamin?
Oh yes, two things. As you're saying, most people that have weight challenges and seeking to be weight well, most of them skip breakfast. Okay, and
I
it's
did.
called break fast for a reason, because you're breaking a fast. And so your body is metabolism is slow. So when that person says to me, Dr. Grace, I don't know why I'm so big, I only eat one meal a day, and that's probably after you finish your whole day and it's at night, because now your body, you've starved your body and now you've given it a meal, and your body is saying it's in self-preservation mode. I don't know when the next time I'm going to eat, so let me store this meal as fat. Exactly what you're saying. And so, even if you're the best eater, we live in a capitalist.
Oh, she got a call coming through, y'all, but that what she was getting ready to give. All right,
You
so
hear
you
me?
guys heard
Okay,
this.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
we're in a capitalistic society. Can you hear me?
Yes.
That they don't. We supposed to farm for 7 years and let the land rest for a year, because you need the nutrients to get back in the soil. The only places that do that is organic farmers. They farm for 7 years and they rotate their crops, wherever they are, and let the land rest. And so you're not getting all the nutrients from the foods if you're not eating organically. You're not. So, and even if you are, the soils is not doing what, giving the nutrients to the food that is needed. So, and even the best eaters, that you need to be on some type of supplement, and the liquid is best. And I was thinking about that you were talking about back in the day, the liquid vitamins that we did have that start with the G. You remember that one?
Mhm. Mhm.
That was the horrible. It still tastes horrible.
Right.
It is, yes. So, but this liquid vitamin tastes amazing. It has superfruits in it. Has potent B vitamins, which are needed for every biochemistry process throughout the body. Has superfruits with contains the vitamin C that you need. And we talked about the collagen. That is what's trending right now. And so your body can make its own collagen if it has what it needs to make it. And it has it in its liquid vitamins. So that's your vitamin A, as in apple, vitamin C as in cat, which is in the superfruits, vitamin E. All of those are what we call antioxidants, or what we call anti-aging vitamins. But you also need some form of amino acid, but you will find in the flare. All those things are needed to build collagen. So if you're deficient in vitamin A, deficient in vitamin C, and vitamin E, you're not going to make collagen. And so if you're not going to make collagen, you're going to get dimpling. You're going to get those parenthesis lines and all of that. This has improved on me a lot. Mine used to be really, really, really deep. And
Mine too.
as I've been on the liquid vitamin, I have seen a difference. And because now my body has what it needs to build the collagen so I can be firm. And even in losing the releasing the weight, I like to say release because when you lose it, you tend to find it again. So
Exactly.
you release the weight. You want to have collagen to be able to build that matrix so you won't, as my daughter calls it, I don't want to look like a melted ice cream cone, because as you lose the weight, the skin doesn't have the elasticity that it needs. So as you're on this weight wellness program, you're getting all the nutrients that you need also at the same time to help keep the skin tight.
That's good stuff. Now, I remember, like I said, I had a box and it had all the pills in it for
Mhm.
every day of the week. Some of them I had to take multiple times a day,
Right.
and I was taking a lot of pills. Um, and it wasn't until listening to Dr. Bramwell, who you're really great friends with, um, that she said, "Well, our bodies are only getting 3 to 20% of the nutritional value from all of those pills that you're popping." And I remember speaking with a gentleman. I won't say his name on here just in case he comes back to watch. And I was telling him, I watched that he's losing really, really great weight or whatever. And I said, you may want to consider some of the products that I have to kind of get you through to your next level, because I know that losing weight is tough and oftentimes our bodies plateau. And he said, "No, I'm gonna do it the natural way. I don't want no supplements." Hmm. So I'm gonna tag him to this after because I love him, but he said he don't want no supplements. And you just said something very important, that no matter how well we eat, how healthy we are, that we need some supplements.
Yes. At my practice, what we do vitamin testing. So we see where people are lacking. We get this like 6, 7, 10 page report to say what you're missing, tell you how you need to supplement to the milligram dose, and what foods that you need to add to incorporate to supplement, right? And so, again, you could be the best eater. It doesn't matter. Everyone is deficient of something. Now, I know the last time I did it, I think for me personally, I think I was deficient in copper. And to believe it or not, I if you could check the back of there, I think that's the only thing that's not in there. I don't
I
think
think so. Yeah, I think that's the
yeah,
only. No, no, no,
is
no. We
copper in there?
actually have 2 milligrams of
Two
copper.
milligrams. Okay. And so what I did was I just went and bought me some extra copper to go along with what I was taking, because I don't know how long I was deficient, and as up until the time that I started taking the Valet 30. And so and then you need, and people don't understand this either, you need a combination of vitamins to be absorbed, and they have it in combination because you need zinc to go with your copper. You need your psyllium to go with your zinc. You need your vitamin D to go with all three of them, and your manganese. And that's all in the Valet 30. And that's what allows the maximum absorption. So now you cleaned out your gut, you got it ready to absorb, yes, to get it in there. Now, what I don't understand is why supplements in some people mind is not natural. I'm thinking pharmaceuticals, pharmakia, stuff that's made from pharmaceutical companies. But I can understand what you're saying. But also all the pills that you were talking about that were in your little pill box. You got to remember, supplements are not what we call federally regulated by the FDA, which is the Federal Drug Administration. People could say that something is in a supplement, and it could be in there, but it may not be the actual amount that they're saying. And then another process that happens is the actual digestion. Just because you say, let's say, biotin is, you see as high as 10,000 mcgs, which is 10 milligrams. Are you getting that whole the 10 mgs from person to person, it varies because everybody's digestive system is different. So once you swallow the pill, really digestion starts in the mouth. So you miss that whole part of the digestive enzymes in your mouth. You swallow it, it hits the stomach. So the acid breaks it down. Then it has to leave the stomach, go into the small intestine, which has enzymes. Then it goes to the large intestines where it's supposed to, at that point, where it's supposed to be pulled from the gut into the bloodstream. But if you're full of mess, it's harder for that process to happen. So that's why it's very important to detox. And so there's a lot of people that are out there, well, I don't have a weight wellness challenge, I'm small or whatever the case may be. You still need to get your gut clean so you can absorb the vitamins and the foods that you eat. Do you need to detox all the time? No. Like I said earlier, change the seasons and listen to your body when to detox. So I don't understand why that's a supplement is not natural. When you tag him and talk to him, hit me back so I can learn something. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. Maybe he knows something. Everything medicine always changes. So maybe he know a little bit something that I don't know. But I would love to hear.
He's not a doctor, no. Just told me that he's gonna do it the natural way. I think what I'm finding is that there are a lot of people that say things out of ignorance, and they really don't realize that. Or like we'll get people say, "Oh, well, is it organic?" I get oftentimes people will say to me, "Well, is this even FDA approved?" And I say, "Well, it's not a food or drug or a drug." I don't know what to tell you. Like, this doesn't need to be FDA approved, but we'll get that. And I'm thinking like it was that McDonald's FDA approved.
Okay, no, let's take it a little further than that. Okay, so FDA says it's okay to inject our cattle and our livestock with steroids, with antibiotics, with hormones, and it's FDA regulated and is approved. But it's not, they don't have any literature or documentation to say whether it's safe or not after human consumption. So FDA regulation and approval,
right.
Okay, so you can have chicken legs and breasts this big that has been proved by the Food Drug and Administration, right? And then you have children and adults who are eating it that become that big, but it's FDA regulated.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
So I 100% also, Dr. Grace, get a lot of, first of all, VAJAJA actually does mean empty, and this will empty. The one question people will ask me is, so is that going to make me go to the bathroom? Now, I detox, and I'm not very big, but I detox because of the air we breathe, especially after I fly. I detox.
Yes.
Right? Because I noticed that I'm also a little swollen after I'm puffy. Like I feel like I'm puffy after I fly. Right? But just from the toxins, the air I breathe, I put lotion on my body. I like perfume, right? From the like all kind, makeup, everything. I detox because of the foods that I eat. Sometimes I have a cocktail. I detox.
Right.
And I detox and I see oils and fat. Like you can see this stuff. And I'm saying to people when they ask me, so is that going to make me go to the bathroom? And I'm often ask them, is it okay that that's inside of you? Or when they say, oh my God, I detox and I just can't, oh my God, it was, and I'm saying, but that was inside of you. Like that is not okay. But I love the fact most detox teas do not cleanse the upper and the lower intestine like our VAJAJA detox tea does. So maybe you can help people that are listening or that may come back to listen. We encourage people to do a 5-day. Do a 10-day. Even if you
Mhm.
don't want to get a whole 30 count bag, even though this will probably last you like 8 weeks,
Mhm.
this one bag could last a person about 2 months.
Right.
30 days could last the average person about 2 months, or more, depending on
Mhm.
how little or how much you need to, like, because most of the people after detoxing for a few days, I like to encourage my people to detox 5 to 7 days straight as they're starting their journey. And then
Mhm.
on the weekends or when they've eaten something they know they really aren't supposed to eat, let's go ahead and get rid of that. If they've been in a plane or if they were at an event with a bunch of people, detox, get yourself clean.
Mhm.
We'll take a shower, but we won't shower the inside. We'll shower
Exactly.
and won't clean the inside. So can you talk about it? Why is detoxing even important? Why is it so important for us to
Okay, so
detox?
let's give people a visual. Okay, so our body temperature, normal temperature is 96.3 to 99. No, at 99 we consider no low grade Fahrenheit. So on a hot day, 96 is hot. It's almost 100 degrees. 99 is almost 100 degrees outside on a hot day, right? That's your body temperature. So you ate some food, you digested it, and it's sitting in a hot day's temperature, 96 to 99 degrees. What happens to smelly garbage when it's on a curb? Garbage when it's on a curb on a hot day like that. Okay,
Mm,
just think about it. It's starting to rot. It's starting to smell. And the smells is actually the toxins and the it's starting to rot. It's starting to deteriorate. It's starting to decay. So even though some people say, "Well, I have good bowel movements," I challenge every one of my patients that I give the tea. Before you drink the tea, I want you to get on the scale, and then after you have your elimination, get on the scale again and subtract between those two numbers. That's how much that was in the toilet. Even if they will see, even if it's a tenth of a pound, that's a lot. If maybe 2 pounds, I've had people say that they have lost 3 pounds. That was 3 pounds of waste that they were carrying in their gut that was just sitting there, that was leaching into the rest of their body. Because you got to remember that your gut is full of blood vessels, and whatever is in the gut is going into the bloodstream. So that is why we need to detox. I mean, I don't know how to put it any other way than that, but hopefully, have you ever
I
heard it said like that before,
I
Nina?
have never heard, and the chat is lit up. They are loving that because you know what? I never thought about that. We got in the car today from the pool, and it was 104 degrees. And as soon as you said 96 degrees, 99 is low grade, but 96 degrees, and I'm thinking like, oh, and I'm thinking about the garbage can sitting at the curb and how awful it smells and the things that begin to grow. The things that begin to grow in that trash that's sitting in that heat.
Mhm.
You just gave us a whole different perspective of detoxing, and I'm hoping that everybody tags their customers, tag their the people that don't, they're like, I'm good, I don't need to detox. I've had people tell me, well, I don't know, Nina, I've taken it one time and it made my stomach hurt and I griped and I this and I that. And I recently had a young lady, a friend of mine that actually joined our team, who said that she griped the first time, but after speaking with Dr. Bramwell, and Krishan reminded me that Dr. Bramwell shared with us that if you're griping, you're dehydrated. That same young lady tried the tea again, drank the right amount of water, and had no griping.
Mhm.
Griping. And it's amazing that there are so many people that will allow, because honestly, I'm thinking we really don't want to change. We really don't want to change. And I'm thinking, although, this is not just about weight loss, it's really about
Mhm.
weight loss, right?
Mhm.
The fact that weight loss could be a byproduct of detoxing on a regular basis. I've got tons of girlfriends that suffer with IBS, and although we make no medical
Right.
claims, all I know is I gave them 2 packs of tea, and within a day or two, like the next day, they were going, and by the afternoon time, they had gone like 4 times, which they wouldn't go 4 times in a month, let alone four
Mhm.
times in a day. And they lost weight 3, 4, 5 pounds in like 48 hours and things like that, which honestly is the reason why we even joined Tava, because the products drew us to the company. We
Mhm.
were in another company, like, oh, well, we're good. We're good. And we said, why are we allowing our good to be the enemy of our great and our great to be the enemy of our best? Because these products, they were chasing me down for these products that were actually just working. And I know that we all know at least 10 people who all need to detox.
Yes.
Imagine if these 10 people bought 5 packs of tea from you because they don't really want a whole bag, but you just added an additional $250 to your financial portfolio
Mhm.
in 1 week. I can't imagine, as I think about, sometimes it brings me to tears to think about the fact that we have something that we're telling you that this is a part of your everyday life. Liquid gold, vitamin and liquid energy, 30-day supply, detoxing because um of all of the toxins that we breathe, the stuff that
Mhm.
our gut, you talked about our gut and how our gut is our second brain.
Mhm.
um, and it's where most disease known to man begins, in our gut. I was looking
Mhm.
at a documentary the other day, and they actually talked about the gut in that documentary, and I learned some things about our gut and the importance of the health of our gut, and how literally it's like the body's mainframe, that it's
Mhm.
all going to begin right there in the gut. Let me
Mhm.
ask you a question, Dr. Grace. How old now? I'm a mom, and I'm gonna say this because it's
Mhm.
my daughter. It's my child. I have given Paige some of our detox tea. I didn't
Mhm.
give her a pack.
Right.
I made like some sweet tea for
Mhm.
her and put this inside of the detox tea because
Mhm.
I noticed that when she goes to the bathroom, it was taking her a long time to have her bowel
Mhm.
movement.
Mhm.
So on the weekend, I gave her a little detox tea, and guess what happened? She went much smoothly. She went smoother. Now, I'm not telling somebody else to do that to their kids. That's my child. I
Right.
gave her because that's my child, right?
Mhm.
But if a person is finding, I have some girlfriends that were expecting, and they asked their doctor. The doctor said it was fine, and they actually drank the tea because they were experiencing constipation
That's
during their pregnancy.
mhm.
How safe is this for the average person? Can anybody drink our tea? What would you suggest?
Okay, well, it's all natural products. It's all plant based because it has, dextrin in it, chamomile in it. Senna is which causes the mild, smooth muscle contraction for the gut. As long as you take it to, like you said, they took it to their doctor, say, I want to try this. Someone even asked me if they were breastfeeding, is it okay for them to take it? I said, well, you got to remember it comes through the milk. If the baby is
Oh, she probably got another call. Misha Green, yes. All right, let's see. She'll there.
okay.
Okay, you're
Okay.
back.
If the baby is constipated, it goes through the breast milk. So whatever the baby gets from the breast milk, that's going to happen. I remember early on when I joined Tava, there was a testimony about a baby who had bad eczema, and the mom was doing Valley 30, and the baby drank the breast milk, and it cleared up the eczema. Again, we're not making any medical claims, but we can tell you what happens to people when they take these products. So my thing is, again, me as a doctor, I like to know what my patients are taking. Approach your doctor because some of them can be a little bit, I don't want to use that word, a little bit within themselves, and you're not going to tell them how to treat you, but you could say, hey, I see these products. I heard, I've been, or go after you take them and say, this is what you've been taking. My blood pressure's been doing good. This is what I've been taking. They'll look at, oh, that's nice. Keep doing what you're doing. That's how you handle that. But most people that ask me that question, the first thing that I ask is, how much does your child weigh? And I've had people who had 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds weighing 150, on some of them 200 pounds. That's an adult body habitus. And so they can take a full bag or full satchel or that. I mean, because now I'm going by the weight and not by the age. And
Right.
so as long if you read the label and no one is allergic to any of the ingredients that's on there, they should be fine. So I sampled one of my girlfriends that I've been knowing since kindergarten. I sent it to her in the mail and she drank it. And then she said, "Oh, I'm allergic to senna," but she lost 3 pounds overnight. She said, "I'm glad I didn't read the label because if I read the label, I wasn't going to take it." So I told her to go post it on my page, and she posted it on the page. But see, again, you don't know until you try. And so I haven't, since I've been doing Tava, the worst thing that I have heard was the griping. I want to be honest, I griped when I first took it, but I knew that I needed to drink more water. So, and I was like, oh my God. So that's the worst that I've heard. I haven't heard of anything else beyond that. So again, to your discretions as a parent, children can be constipated because it's hard to get the veggies in. It's sometimes it's even hard to get the water in with the children, and you
Right.
want their little tummies and their gut to be healthy as well. And I want to go backpedal because I heard you say about depression and mental emotional wealth is connected to our gut, because every time we have a bowel movement we release serotonin, which is a mood elevator, right? And so any antidepressant helps serotonin be secreted and help it stay around longer. And so your brain and your gut is connected, so your gut is your second brain. So every time that you have a bowel movement, serotonin is released. So if a person is constipated, they're not getting the serotonin that they need to be released. So most oftentimes people are depressed. I can put my money on it that they also are constipated.
Wow. I hope y'all heard that one. All right. Y'all need to share this, tag someone because that was wow. That was wow. And Dr. Grace, what I thought about when Paul and I made the decision to give her a little tea
Mm-hmm.
was if I'd have called the doctor, they would have told me to give her a suppository. They would have told me to go get some medicine and give her that. So I can only say that we can make that there are some decisions that I feel like as a parent, and this is not my first rodeo. I've got a 34-year-old, a 29-year-old, a 23-year-old. And guess what? When they were constipated, the doctor had me stick a little suppository up their behinds. You know, now, when you know better, you do better. I don't have to go give Paige a suppository. Literally a little bit for a little, for a child, a little bit goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
But we have several moms on our team that nurse and they're using all the products. And guess what? Their kids are fine. We have a young lady that honestly just delivered her baby yesterday, but suffers from IBS. And she used every product while she was pregnant, the whole pregnancy. And her doctor okayed it. Even the coffee, the flare, she was using everything and walking almost 4 miles a day.
Wow, that's
And guess
amazing.
what? Yesterday, Dr. Grace, I text her. I just happened to message her and I said, "You still pregnant over there?" I said, "Tell that baby to come on down." I got a response from her about 60 seconds later and say, "You will never believe that my water just broke." She had that baby 6 hours later. So I'm here to tell you guys, she used our products the entire pregnancy, which gave her the energy to walk. She was walking up to 4 miles a day, sometimes 5 miles a day. And she went into labor yesterday, and 6 hours later was posting that the baby was here.
Oh
Her
wow.
water broke.
Beautiful.
No, she did not start off with no contractions or anything like that. It was just her water broke. She said, "I'm packing right now, Nina. I'm going to the hospital." And the next thing we know, about 6 hours later, we saw a post on Facebook that she had the baby, healthy, 6 pounds, 6 pounds, 4 ounces, something like that, healthy baby boy. And so you're right. It is, you should ask your doctor. But we know that there are several women. There are women that are on our team right now that are nursing. They drink the tea, they use the valet, the flare, and they drink the caprice, and their children are fine. I I let Paige drink the coffee. Um, it calms her down. It just does. I make it like a little kitty drink, like an iced coffee for her.
Mhm.
Um, and guess what? It calms her down. It is much better than giving her a cup of Starbucks coffee, right? Our coffee's different. So before we go though, we got to get to this
Okay.
because you lit up with the flare too when we were in Detroit, and you lit up just now again. Now this is in capsule form. I opened mine up. Paul
Mhm.
started it when he started putting it into his valet. I don't know if he was doing it to save time. I don't know if he just wanted to feel more of a. I really don't know. I gotta ask him. Well, he's listening. He'll let us know whether or not it was because he wanted it to go immediately into his bloodstream or whatever. But can you please share your sentiments about our flare?
Okay, so when you were talking about healthy vajayjay, we all have bacteria throughout our whole body, good and bad, and even yeast. So that's where yeast infections come from, overgrowth of the woman's natural yeast in her vajayjay. So, be it the pH is changed by changing soap, laundry detergent, or someone that has chronic what we call candidiasis or yeast infections, we are trained to have that woman tested for diabetes because diabetes keeps the body at a certain pH where they have chronic yeast infection. But again, so you did the facillia, you cleaned out your gut. There's good and bad bacteria in the gut. And what happens with people that before they detox, they have sometimes the bad bacteria overgrows, and what it does send chemicals signals to the brain to eat unhealthy. That's why people are like, well, why can't I have self control? Why do I crave the sugar? Why do I want the chips and whatever else that I'm not supposed to have? Because that is a clear indication that you need to detox to get rid of that bad bacteria that are sending messages to your brain. There's actual biochemical warfare going on in your body to feed me, to feed me. That's what those little bacteria are saying. So you clear out with the facillia, and then you take the flare and you replenish your gut. It's 6 probiotics in there. So most people that are on the system, they don't have those cravings anymore. They can go through a holiday and not have, if they decide to have a small piece of sweet potato pie, they're not eating the whole pie, or they make up in their mind, I don't want to do any sweets at all, and they have the willpower to do it because they have the bacteria in their gut that is the good bacteria that gives them the self-control that they need to make good healthy choices. And so that's why I like the flare. Flare also has in it chromium in it, which helps regulate glucose levels, which are the sugar levels. You're getting hit again with another with more B vitamins in here. Most of the people that I know that are anemic, my daughter told me to say, every time you tell the flare, tell them not to skip a day because they're gonna be tired. She said, when I get ready to take a nap, I'm like, dang, I forgot to take my flare. So you because it has B6 in it, which is pyridoxine, which is good not only for your hair, skin, and nails because you need B6, but it's also good in helping build back blood. You need that B6 for that. And so this flare is an amazing. And then you need, when you build up blood cells, you get good oxygenation to your tissues. So this is why you hear flare takes you there for the men. I know we're talking about ladies, but ladies, you probably need to get this to your man if he's having a little bit of problems.
Oh, she must be getting a call coming through. Okay, I will, Indira, I'm gonna definitely ask Dr. Grace
Connecting.
if
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? The
now
B6. Okay, the B6 increases blood cells, and blood cells is what carries oxygen. And so, to have good sexual function, be it man or female, you have to have blood flow to the tissue that drops the oxygen there for you to perform sexually. That's just how it works. So that's why you hear that lingo, flare takes you there, because it has that B6 in there that helps generate those blood cells to carry the oxygen where it needs to go for good sexual health. So that's why my face lit up with that flare, because it not only gives good gut health, but what we call urogenital health. as well with the probiotics and with helping healthy red blood cells for oxygenation, which is really, really amazing. That's an amazing product. I wish I
No,
would
they
have
are
thought of.
loving you. Look, they are loving you. They are loving you here. Wait a minute. So I gotta read this. Somebody said makes it will make it long and strong. That's what they said. They will take you there. You said the flare take you there. You said, yeah, make it long and strong. But I do want to go up a little bit because you talked about the blood sugar and flare. And I do get a lot of people. And although we make no medical claims, we are talking today with Dr. Grace Patterson. Okay, I want y'all to know that, right? So we're not making a medical claim, but we have a medical professional that's speaking with us on behalf of the ingredients that are in the product. She's not making a medical claim. She's simply talking about the ingredients in the products. I get a lot of people that say, well, I'm a diabetic. Can I use these products? I have high blood pressure. I can't take this. I can't take that. You kind of tapped on the whole sugar thing, but someone's diabetic and they're coming to me and they're saying, Nina, can I take this? Am I going to be okay? Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay, so we're going to do a crash course of diabetes really quick. So there's diabetes type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is where the pancreas doesn't make the insulin that it needs. So the insulin is needed to open up the gates of the cell for the sugar to go in. So type 1, the pancreas is not making the insulin, so therefore the gates don't open, the sugar doesn't go in. So you got sugar going throughout the whole body. And then the body is like, I got to do something with the sugar, and it turns the sugar into alcohol, which is sorbitol. So that's why they get the numbness and tingling in their fingers and burning in their feet. They have visual blurriness. They already ate and still feel hungry. They're peeing all the time. We call it polydipsy, polyuria, polyphagia, which means they're peeing all the time. They're still hungry after they eat. And it's just a whole big ugly mess. So that's type 1. Type 2 is because a person is, in your words, is too fluffy. And so the adipose tissue is around those gates. So when the insulin is released, the insulin is like, well, how can I sit on that receptor? It don't look right. I can't fit, because the adipose tissue is blocking the receptor for it to open up. So I have had patients, I'm just going to tell you what I've done for my patients. I had patients that came to me. You met her. She was at the party. She weighed 325 pounds, lost over 100 pounds, on no diabetic medications whatsoever. She still takes her high blood pressure medication a time and again, and that's only when her family gets on her nerves. Okay. I've had another patient in my chronic pain management. She was weighing like 280 or so. Went to an endocrinologist, which is a fancy name for a person who specialized in diabetes. She was a diabetic for 5 years. Her hemoglobin A1C was always a 12. And what is hemoglobin A1C? You have sugar arms that hang on your red blood cells. And so they came up a test to test for that, because people were cheating the system. They knew they were going to the doctor, so they ate real well for a week and they fasted. So when they did their fasting blood sugar, it was perfect. But you can't cheat 3 months worth of hemoglobin A1C, which is hanging off the blood cells. So she was always a 12 for 5 years, got on these products, the weight started to release. And for a first time in a very long time, since her diagnosis, her hemoglobin A1C was a 6. And it was because of she was on the products in addition to what other things that she was taking. So again, we can't make any medical claims, but I can tell you what I've done in my practice and the results of my patients using the products and what outcomes that they have had. I forgot to mention this. She was on 120 tablets of oxycodone.
What?
Now she's down to 60, because she lost the weight and now her gut is clear. So when she takes her medication, it can be absorbed and can control the pain. When her gut was unhealthy, she needed more medication to control the pain, to get past all the gunk that was in her gut so the medication can work. So if your gut is not healthy, I don't care how many medications that you take for, be it high blood pressure, sugar, diabetes. That's why people have counters and counters full of medication on their nightstand or in their medicine cabinet, because their gut is not healthy and is not absorbing the medication that the doctor is prescribing. So that's why these products are a tool in conjunction to. I believe that things can work together. I don't think people should be ostracized or made to feel bad if they go the natural route. or if they go the pharmaceutical route, or use them together. So diabetics, if you tried everything else, so why not try these products? You have nothing to lose at this point.
Wow. Wow. Now, and I know that we've gone longer than I normally go, but the chat is like lit up. They are loving you, Dr. Grace. So many people have said thank you to you. We are going to let you give your information at the end because there are people that are like, I need her information. I know that I've got a girlfriend that's watching, and I know why she wants the information as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the young ladies that's on here now is saying, well, what about high blood pressure? Now I know from some of the people that I am assisting with their journey, that started off with me having high blood pressure, and I'm not making any medical claims, but as they begin to lose the weight, their pressure seems to start to stabilize.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can people with high blood pressure in your I know that every case is different. I know that you would need to know a little more about each individual person, but is there something general that you could say?
Yes,
Um,
I can quote medical literature.
okay,
Medical literature says as weight goes up, blood pressure goes up. So the reverse has to happen. If it's going up, blood pressure go up. So I had a patient, well, she wasn't really my patient. She was my friend that signed up for Tava. And she kept on calling me. She was blowing on my phone because she worked in a factory. She said, Dr. Grace, I keep on going to the nurse and my blood pressure is so low. What do I need to do now? She was on 3 blood pressure medication, and she was doing the flare and the liquid vitamin. Of course, she was doing the tea. And she was like, I can't get into my regular doctor. What should I do? I said, hold those 3 blood pressure pills. I said, because the flare is bringing it down even more. So hold your 3 blood pressure medication pills. Call your doctor, say that you need to get in. So yes, it can help with blood pressure, because even drinking the coffee that has 120 milligrams of potassium in it, it causes vasodilation. It causes those blood vessels to open up, and when they're open up, they can flow more freely. And when vessels are open, blood pressure goes down. So you have the in the flare, you have magnesium in there, which is also vasodilating. You have potassium in the coffee, which is also vasodilating. And you got to remember, the component of high blood pressure is also inflammation, which most doctors and most people don't talk about. If your blood vessels are inflamed, they're narrow as well. So these products are known to decrease inflammation in the body, primarily the CBD, the chamomile, the chaga mushroom. You got all this anti-inflammatory stuff that you are taking, so your body can't help but to respond by the blood pressure going down, by the minerals and the things that you're putting in your body. Again, not making any medical claims, but I could tell you how these products work in the body based upon biochemistry and what medical literature says about, as weight goes up, blood pressure goes up. So as weight comes down, your blood pressure should be responding to the weight release.
wow, that's good stuff right there. I know that we've got Shamla Jones. She's on this live right now, and she is losing weight and her blood pressure is coming down. So we're going to keep an eye on her. I'm going to make sure that you meet her at conference. And I'm going to tag you to one of her pictures so that you can see her before Tava journey, where she's at right now. She actually was in Detroit. She was in Detroit with us. She had once I show you a picture, you're gonna know exactly who she was. She's
Okay.
come down some more. I challenged her when I left Detroit to really, really, like, I said, I want you to be very serious about your weight, because I know that if you tackle this weight, not if, but when you tackle this weight thing, like, your income is gonna shoot through the roof. When you so we have one question that we gotta, because she's asked a few times, that people are asking: does our flare have pre and pro pre and pro? I think that's what she's asking.
This is
Pre.
pre and I think it's just pro.
Okay, I
I
think so too.
have to double check. The pre part is the help with the digestion before. The pro is to replenish. Most of the pre probiotics are called digestive enzymes. But when I was studying, when I have studied, when I first got the products, I don't remember seeing that they are categorized as pre or digestive enzymes. I've only familiar with them being probiotics. So that's the difference.
Wow. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know that you in your practice, you like more holistic
Mm-hmm.
uh care. And so I got some people that are wishing they were in Detroit so that they could come and see you,
Mm-hmm.
because there are a lot of people that are tired of having to use a lot of medication.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're loving you. They're saying thank you. Can you at least let everyone know where they can find you,
Mm-hmm.
um, in case they, if they're in your area, they'll come see you. I don't know if you maybe do you do
Yes, I
tele?
do. I, I, I,
Okay.
I work today, and I'm in Paradise Valley, Arizona today. So I can see my patients from anywhere. Most insurance company don't pay for the holistic side of things, but guess what? You're worth it. I mean, there's never going to be another you. And so you need to invest in your health. So my website is www.drgracecares.com. That's our website, www.drgracecares.com. I'm in Detroit. We have texting capabilities on our office phone, and that number is 248
I want
356
I want to make sure somebody
1111.
and it,
Mm-hmm.
can you say that again? Let's make sure that they're putting it
Sure.
in the chat. Say your website. Okay, Dr. www.drgracecares.com. Now, can you also say that number again and they're going to write it in?
Sure. It's 248 356 1111. And I do a Medical Monday show every Monday right before our TAVA corporate call. It's called Medical Monday. You could go to the Facebook and go to YouTube is Medical Mondays. Put Dr. Grace in there because there is a Medical Monday where it's talking about miracle marijuana. That's not me. But I have a plethora of videos on there from ranging from depression to high blood pressure, diabetes, how to sleep properly. I have a whole bunch of information there that you can glean from as well. This past April, Medical Monday turned 5 years old. So I'm really excited about that. So thank
Well,
you for
this
having me. I love this.
amazing.
I could keep talking and keep talking. So you better hurry up and bring it to an end.
You know what? Here's the thing: when you can hear it, when a person loves what they do, like this isn't just work for you. This is, I believe that this is a ministry for you, and it is, I'm certain. And first of all, you look great. I don't know if the people that know you, they ought to know that they're looking at a smaller Dr. Grace, because I've seen her
Yeah.
in person, y'all. And Dr. Grace is gonna be, she gonna have a fitted dress on at conference in October. Y'all watch. She gonna have a fitted. Her gown gonna be fitted. And so, what's so cool to me is that even as a medical professional, that you still saw an avenue with this. You still saw
Yes.
the need to have Tava in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would you to another medical professional? What would you say? Because a lot of medical professionals will say, I'm not doing network marketing, and I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
this is not about doing network
Mm-hmm.
marketing. But I just feel like if you care about your patients, then
Absolutely.
you should at least care to know, this tonight. I mean, we spent an hour talking about these products. What
Mm-hmm.
would you say to another medical professional who may have turned a deaf ear to someone who may have tried to share Tava with them? Why should they say yes to Tava and the products for their
Mm-hmm.
practice?
Well, first of all, when I was in medical school, I only got 2 weeks worth of nutrition. That was it. Biochemistry was maybe a month and a half. And that's really the crux of our life. Our food should be our medicine. And so for a doctor, because we're trained for for the symptoms and the diagnosis and the drug. That's how we're trained. That's all we know. The symptoms, the symptoms, the diagnosis, and the drugs. I call it SDD. That's all we are trained for. And every year, new drugs are coming out. No one is talking about the actual reason for it. It's like a boat with a hole in it, and water is gushing in, and the pharmaceutical companies, we just have a pot pouring out the water. But why is the patient experiencing what they're experiencing? And TAVA, or a natural eating and eating right, exercising, all of that helps us patch the hole so we can have healthy patients. But the system is not designed for that. So we took a Hippocratic oath to do no harm. And I know what I heard if I, because I'm not a network marketer, but I'm learning I'm learning as I'm earning. But I know what God told me. He said, if I help the people, I'm going to build the team. So even across team lines, if you need my help, I'm going to help you, because I know what God said. Help the people and I'll build the team. And so I make money off live patients, not dead ones. And so that's it. And I tell my patients that you may not want to do what I say, but I'm going to keep you alive as long as I can, because that's how I'll make my money. And so, and don't be afraid. Those of you out there, when you're going in and the doctor's seeing that you're losing weight and they asking what you're doing, show them what you're doing. Sample the doctor, sample the office. All they can do is not take it or not take it. But what's happening is that we're sharing the wealth of health. I don't care how much money that you have. If you go to a person that's on their sick bed and you ask them whether they would not, if they rather have their money or their health, they will tell you that they would want their health at that moment. So that's what I would tell a doctor. Please, whatever is working for your patient, don't make them feel bad. Don't shame them about it. Listen to what they have to say and encourage them to keep doing what they're doing, and even learn from your patients. I learn from my patients every day. So that's what I would say to a doctor. Just don't turn a deaf ear. If you really love what you do and you really want to help your patients, take a look at TAVA.
Boom. You said that you, first of all, you said I make my money off of live people. That everybody, the whole chat lit up. And we always say that our health is our wealth, but you sealed the deal with that. Wealth is health, and health is wealth. And so I did the same thing when I started losing weight. And it's so crazy now, because if I had my doctor back in Ardmore, if he was to see me now, he would say, what in the heck? Because I really got very, very, even though more serious. I had gotten small, but I felt like I wasn't tone, I wasn't fit. I was just small. And that's when I decided about 60 days, maybe almost 90, not about 90 days ago now, that I really wanted to be on the more fit side. I decided that I wanted to be 50. I wanted to be 50. People say 50 and fabulous, but I wanted to be 50 fabulous and fit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to live a long life. I say I'm going to live till I'm 120. And I don't want to live a long life with ailments. I don't. And, if people think that it's expensive to utilize your services, to utilize our products right now, they should see how expensive it's going to be being sick.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about two things. There's a such thing called skinny fat, but that's another teaching for another time. But I had a person who smoked a pack of cigarettes a day and told me she couldn't afford TAVA. So we crunched the numbers. I said, how much is a pack of cigarettes? She said $9.50. Time that by 365. It was almost $3,500 a year. Divided by 12 is $288 a month, which is the complete pack, including shipping. So you mean to tell me that you can afford to smoke every day, but you can't afford a complete pack? And this, what else I told her? I said, okay, let's go even a little further. Take $3,500 this July the 4th, put it on the grill, put some lighter fluid on it, and set it on fire and go whoosh, because that's all you're doing when you smoke every day. You just burning $3,500 up and paying cash money to be sick.
You're giving people, you're empowering them right now, and you're giving them some tools to utilize in their belt, because I see no lies detected there with that one. So,
and the sizzle.
And we've got sizzle. And for those of us that, maybe you don't have sizzle, for those of us who are real business, like we're real entrepreneurs, we have something called afterpay too. So you can sizzle through our back office, but you can afterpay through many of us. And so there's really, you guys, there's no excuse. because I just believe, what good is having any money if we can't enjoy it either? What good is that going to be? And so that's where I'm at. And we need to have you, because you just started to go down a little rabbit hole with the skinny fat. So how many of y'all want Dr. Grace to come? Look, they said, now wait a minute, that's a whole word. And Miss Vanessa said she's committing intentional suicide. So look, oh yeah, they're lighting the chat up. Dr. Grace, they said they want you back. So we're gonna have to find a time to get Dr. Grace back. She's super. They said yes, bring her back, bring her back, bring her. They're like yes, 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 and more yeses. Hands up, Dr. Grace. They're loving you. So thank you so much. We went way over. I promise you, I've never stayed on this long, but we didn't want to end it. I still really don't want to end it, but I do respect your time, and I'm so grateful that you said yes to join us this evening. They're going to follow you on Facebook. You're probably going to be getting tons of messages from people that really want to utilize your services. Thank you so much, Dr. Grace. Hope you enjoy your time there in Arizona. And we will have you back, but I'll be talking to you real soon. Thank
All
you.
right.
So
Okay. Thank you.
so ladies and gentlemen, we know we went a little over time. But guess what? This was so good. This was good, good. Thank you all for staying this long. As you heard her passion and everything that she said this evening, that Dr. Grace is not just a doctor for the money. She's a doctor because she loves and cares about people. So we care about you too. So listen, if you were tagged to this, then you make sure that you get back to the person that invited you to look at this information, okay? Because we do operate in integrity. But if you're seeing this on my YouTube, or if you're my friend and you're wondering how in the world can you get your hands on these products, all you've got to do is send me a message. You can reach me at I think my website is going to come up here. You can email me at blingagain@gmail. I've got Nina at ninarmora.com. You can leave me a message on YouTube and or Facebook. I will get to you guys, because it's very important to me. You can even send me a message on my website, ninarmora.com. Because I want to make sure that you're subscribed to ninarmora.com. And that if you need to find me, if you need to change your life, maybe you need to upgrade your health, right? You need to upgrade your health and optimize, your health with some amazing supplements, as you heard, all natural supplements that will assist you at living your best life. So I am Nina Rochelle Mora, and this has been the Mora Experience. That's right there on Bling TV on YouTube. And listen, no matter what's going on in your life, I want you all to remember that you can live again, laugh again, hope again, dream again, and you most certainly can bling again. I love you all. Good night and God bless you. Bye.